Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dungeons and Magi. This is Behind the Curtain. In this show, we discuss the events that have happened in our campaign. We sit down, we bullshit, we answer everyone's burning questions, including our own, and we just have some fun. I would like to say that tonight's episode is brought to us by our friends at 1985 Games. They are currently doing their Kickstarter for these awesome D&D pins, bitch and dice, ramen with D20s in them, a bunch of other different types. You can check that at 1985games.com for that. You also, if you use our code at checkout for anything, you do get a percentage off. And our code is dungeons_and_magi. Let's see here. So, with that, let's get started with
All right.
Behind the Curtain. All right. Sorry, I'm dealing with a new mic layout. I'm not sure if I like it upside down or not.
Well, as long as it doesn't hit you in the face, I
It's-
guess it's okay.
It seems more stable this way, so I'm trying it this way. But yeah, all right. So, again, this is kind of our chance to just sit down and bullshit and answer your questions, answer each other's questions. I want to start things off with a question that is not two questions that are not D&D related. This is for everybody, and I will go in order. If you were on death row,
Ooh.
what would your last meal be? Ben.
Ooh. Me? My
Yeah.
last meal
What
if
would
I'm
your
on
last
death
meal
row.
be?
Ooh.
If Pam killed you, or when Pam
Pam-
kills you.
when Pam kills me, you want me to ask her what her last meal will be? Pam's would probably be steak and lobster and scallops. Would be it would be actually, but it wouldn't be as good because she killed her favorite chef. We're live on Twitch. That's early, everybody. For me, mine would actually I would like a Thanksgiving meal: turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, corn, with also ham. Though I have ham.
Ham is better than turkey. Sorry to say it, but ham is better than turkey.
I like both equally. That would be me. I would have a Thanksgiving meal.
I'm the kind of person that the turkey has to be perfect. Like most people, they overcook the turkey and it's dry.
Oh, I don't.
I inject my turkey when I do Thanksgiving. So
has anybody ever tried deep frying a turkey?
Yes, we used to deep fry turkeys. It's pretty good.
People do it.
I've air
Put
fried
them
a
in
turkey.
the oven.
I've air fried a turkey.
I've just never felt like creating like a firebomb
Yeah,
if you do it
easily.
if you do it the right way, it doesn't do that. If you do it the right way, the problem is people take it right out of the fridge so it's cold, and then they put it in hot grease, and then that's
Oh,
what
yeah.
happens. You have to bring it to room temperature and then put it in there, and you lower it slowly. But yeah, so
Yeah, room temperature to cook turkey does not sound safe or sanitary to me.
It is as long as it is not left out. Just like with a steak, before you cook a steak,
Yeah.
technically a steak is supposed to sit at room temperature before you cook it. It's not supposed to
Yeah,
go from
that's true.
cold to heat. You'll
What did
actually
I get on
mess
Death
with the
Row
fibers.
What
Right.
did I get Death Row 4? That's why I'm curious.
I don't know. Elliot, what would you, if you were on death row, what would your last meal be?
I would probably do like mashed potatoes, corn, some like really nice Velveeta macaroni. Maybe I don't really know.
Well,
That's all
because
I can think of is just
I
a whole bunch
don't
of
think the
sides.
people at home know this, but you do not eat meat, correct?
I haven't in almost 10 years now.
Yeah.
Oh.
So,
So I
you
mean,
are
if they could
vegetarian,
make,
not vegan.
yes, I still eat cheese and stuff.
Yeah.
I think maybe if they got like, you guys know chicken fried or country fried steak. If they could do that in vegetarian form somehow, I'd love that.
So what I make something that you would like, and when I was in the military, I was like, so I'm 6'2". I was in the military. I was in the best shape of my life. I was 225 pounds with 2% body fat. I was just jacked. All I did was work out. I ate healthy. So in place of like fatty foods, I used vegetables. So I would actually take eggplant or zucchini, cut it really thin, and I would deep fry it.
Oh, that is tasty.
And
that is very
the thing
tasty.
with eggplant and zucchini is they have no flavor, so they take whatever flavor you give them. So just keep that in mind. Something that maybe you want to try is get an eggplant or zucchini, slice it really thin, bread it, season it, all of that, and then deep fry it. And that's how eggplant parmesan's made.
Yeah, that
so
does sound really good.
It's very good.
Shit,
it is amazing. Okay, so I'm next down the line. So I would say my last meal, I'm a steak person. I love steak. I absolutely love it, but I want the tomahawk steak. That is the big one with the bone sticking out. The massive one, which, by the way, Ben, they sell at Jungle Gyms. They've got gigantic tomahawk steaks. Right next to the shark.
Jungle Gyms.
And so I want a tomahawk steak. I want fully loaded homemade mashed potatoes. And then I want a Dutch apple pie.
Yeah,
it has to be Dutch apple pie. It has to have the little sugar on top.
I hate
all
apple products.
My grandpa used to put cheese on his apple pie.
No,
Pie is the best. Excuse you.
It's really good. Weirdly enough, cheese on it because my
aunt's homemade apple pie.
Which I'm sure is good. It's just that when I was a wee lad,
long time ago.
Go fuck yourself. I told you I had the right to say that again.
I'm pretty sure I'm older than him anyway, so.
No, my mother or my parents, my mother specifically, would shove apples in have an apple this, apple everywhere. By the age of 7, I couldn't eat another apple. To this day, apples just it revolts me.
Okay.
I can't touch an apple.
I get that because I'm that way with mac and cheese because I had a babysitter who did that.
That's how I am with spaghetti. I don't like spaghetti because I grew up not wealthy, and my mom and my dad split when I was 8, so my mom was a single parent, and She was a teacher's assistant before she became a nurse, so she didn't have a lot of money, and spaghetti was cheap. So we had spaghetti all the time. Now I cannot stand it. I hate spaghetti.
That has to be with macaroni and cheese and top ramen, and my dad would forget about it, so it would end up mushy.
So really quick before we move on to the next person, what is everybody's favorite type of apple?
Green, any kind of green one.
Green apple.
None. That's my favorite. None.
The nice Granny Smith
apples.
How
are those new ones we got in the?
They are actually really good. They're not as sweet as I like my apples, but they are actually got a nice crisp texture.
I don't like those ones that aren't sweet because they taste kind of bitter.
I love Granny Smith apples. The sour.
Yeah, they're my favorite.
I don't. I'm not too much of the sour.
I've eaten sour candy so much that my tongue started to bleed. From all the lactic acid or whatever it's called.
Well, see, and there's the thing. I like sour candy, but I don't like sour apples.
That doesn't sound right. Like, I know I don't eat apples, but
I don't like tomatoes, but I like ketchup.
Yeah.
I grossed out actually my lieutenant today. I grossed him out because we were testing radios, and I was just being a smartass. I tried ordering a pizza on our radio during a radio test, and I was like, "Who wants something?" He's like, "I'll take a thing of mozzarella sticks." I was like, "Okay, Lieutenant, mozz sticks. Make sure you have extra ketchup." He's like, "Wait, what?" I'm like, "Marinara sauce sucks. You need ketchup on mozzarella sticks." And he's like, "What the hell is wrong with you?"
No, you put.
And I'm like,
I don't really like marinara that much.
Ketchup on mac and cheese.
I've had that.
And on eggs.
What makes sense? My son puts ketchup on everything.
Your son's got a good. Your son's got a good head on his shoulder. He's right.
And then the other one does ranch on everything.
All right, Cara, what if you were on death row? What would your last meal be?
See, that's a tough one because I like food. So I would honestly want it to be something I've never had before. Because I am one of those people that I will try anything at least once. Twice if I'm unsure if I like it or not. Because that's how I grew up.
Yeah,
my dad was a professional chef, and he instilled into me that, to learn a culture is to learn their food. So he introduced me to various foods from various cultures because he was also Navy. So, ex-Navy, got exposed to cultures around the world when he moved from base to base, got to experience the foods there, and instilled that into me.
Mm-hmm.
So I would want it to be something that I've never tried before.
Okay.
Well, what haven't you tried before?
Oh, there's so much.
It's an easier list to ask what she has tried.
I mean, it is. A lot of South African dishes I haven't tried, but I've always wanted to.
African food. It is amazing.
I've had Jamaican. I've had Indian.
The best
Indian,
part about African food is because of their culture, everything comes in usually giant dishes, and typically it's served with this doughy bread that you rip the dough off and then you grab the food with the bread. And it is
yummy.
Amazing. I've made a couple African dishes and they're really good.
I can't eat a lot of cultural foods because of the fact that I don't eat meat. A lot of it's very meaty.
We'll be making some.
I eat Indian. I have a lot of choices.
Oh.
But yeah, I've had Russian inspired dishes. I've had, of course, various Asian cultures inspired dishes. I've had, of course, Scottish, German.
German cuisine is excellent. Yes, I love German.
Ben, wait till you guys move here because we have an authentic German restaurant here.
There's a sandwich. It's not German. It's actually Turkish in origin. It's called a Döner. a donor.
Ooh,
I call it is a
that'd be interesting.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Oh, it's donor food is the best. I have seen near homicides being committed for people trying to fight over the last of them. They're great drunk food. They're just amazing sandwich. My one of my good friends from the Air Force who was stationed with me in Germany when he was in Texas, finishing up his Air Force, he called me. He's like, "Hey, there's a donor shop here." I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm in line to get it right now. They have your beer." I was like, "What? Why would you tell me this?" He's like, "Oh, I wanted to rub it in. Suffer. Bye. Love you." I'm like, "I'm going to kill you, Zach. I will kill you."
But yeah, I am one of those people that I was taught to learn the culture is to try the food.
Mm-hmm, that's very true.
So I would love it to be something I have never tried before.
Okay. Ethan, if you were on death row, what would your last meal be?
My last meal on Earth would be my wife's homemade. She makes like this awesome chicken, bacon, ranch, like chicken bacon ranch bake. It's got like whole chicken breasts with like bacon, mozzarella cheese, and it's got like I think it's got Alfredo sauce in it. I think. I know it's got some sort of awesome sauce roll over the top of it, but it is phenomenal. So if I had one last meal, it would be that.
That sounds really good.
You get brownie points that Ben doesn't get for saying you want something your wife cooked. Chris, what would your last meal be?
To be honest, it would just be a slice of fresh, warm pecan pie and a cup of mead.
Okay.
Not bad.
See, I also could take a nice ham and pineapple pizza, folded, dipped in ranch.
In other news, stand by. Be prepared for a new CEO.
Ben is about to be on death row.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I literally no. I kid you not. We had pizza tonight. I literally told Haley that she can either get like a pepperoni sausage or not pepperoni sausage, a hamburger, or ham and pineapple pizza. I literally told her that.
I love Hawaiian
It's
pizza.
so good.
It's so good.
It is.
All right. So this is going to be for everybody. Before we get into the D&D questions, what was your dream job as a child? What is it now? And if it has changed, why did it change? So, Benjamin.
Am I in trouble? Stop doing that.
Only if Pam
She'll do it. She's trying to. She's really exhausted. Had a really rough day at work today. But let's see. Dream job actually.
Dream job as a child.
Believe it or not, my dream job was to be a teacher. I love teaching. Yeah, even today, I still love.
He likes lecturing people. I can see it.
Well, I do. I can't deny it
all the time.
No, I try to lecture you.
This is why he's the COO.
Yeah, because someone has to be the frickin' Jiminy Cricket around here.
My Jiminy Cricket up and data.
What is?
I did.
What is your dream job now?
Actually,
you're not my conscience. You're my husband.
Which is exactly what to you?
Not that.
I know. She might want to choose that word carefully.
My dream job now is I really want to work in the technology field. I'm not talking about Google or apps or phones. I'm talking like radio, satellite communication, stuff like that. My current job is an alarm inspector, which I love. I actually like my job. I actually had to do
some days.
Yeah, there are days I really wish it was better, but it's overall a lot better than what my last job was. But I actually did an inspection at a radio communications company, and I was like getting candy store, just running around, obviously doing my job. If anybody from my job is watching, I did my job. But I did it really quick, and then I just started running around and looking at all the cool, like RXTX equipment that they had, all the stuff that they use, and I was like asking them all questions, like more specifically, like what do you get as a college degree that helped you here, so that I can do it. And so I may or may not be looking at colleges in the Kentucky, Cincinnati area that in like engineering and stuff, so that I can just get a bachelor's degree and try and get into like some company that works with like the kind of radios that I work with in the Army, actually.
Okay, why did it change?
Well, as much I do love teaching, I like teaching people things. Like I like history. I love teaching people stuff. Unfortunately, and the realities of teaching in the United States today are just too. I'm not trying to get political, but it's just too grim, too dark. Everything is political. Most of the public schools are failing. I'm sorry if people think differently, but they are. You don't have to have any political affiliation. Doesn't matter what it is. They're failing.
So I'm glad I didn't go to a public school.
I mean, even to a degree, the private schools aren't doing that much better either.
I went to a charter school, and it was a good school because they required us to go to college, take college classes. They also required us to do community service. In order to go to the next grade, you had to do a certain amount of community service hours.
That's good.
That happened in my high school.
Yeah,
and it
unfortunately,
was a public school.
And unfortunately, it didn't help that teachers don't get paid enough in this country. They really don't. I mean, and I think that's another problem. I think in some districts they get paid garbage, but if you look at the school boards and school officials, they're driving around in Maseratis, and yet I actually was just reading something, and Elliot, in your neck of the woods in Maryland, I think there's a bunch of Baltimore area public schools where darn close to 100% of the students in those schools are not proficient in English and math, and yet the superintendent is walking around in would look like an Armani suit to me. I'm like, where did you get that?
My high school didn't have air conditioning for a long time. Even though
exactly, like I said, I'm not trying to divert into
and then half of it didn't work.
Yeah, like I said, that's the reality of it, because I saw how the education system was going, and I was like, my passion will be dead in 3 years.
Yeah.
And then I'll just be like one of those burned out teachers that you see on TV. And I was like, that's not for me. I like tinkering, though, believe it or not. I like looking at the intricacies and the guts of some things, like electronic stuff, not cars. I'm not mechanically inclined. But so that's why I like
truck. Come on.
Can you fix my truck, please?
What kind of truck you got? No, literally, I can rebuild an engine, no problem.
How about a 2013 Chevy Silverado?
Okay, that I'll actually have to look up a little bit on, but I've rebuilt a Ford F-150. Was 4-barrel carburetor engine.
I better tell Pam we're taking a road trip to Georgia.
All right, so Elliot, what was your dream job as a child?
I always was tied between 2 jobs. One of them was being an artist, like professionally, and the other one was being a singer. I think that the singer part changed because I just can't do being in public that much. Like being a solo act, you know what I mean? It's just way too much for me. I just always liked being... I was never good at like technical stuff, but I'm pretty good at like letting my creative side out. I think that like I wanted to be an actor for a little bit. I wanted to be a vet, and then I realized it would be too sad, so I didn't want to be a vet anymore.
So what about now?
I mean, I'd love to do this. It'd be pretty cool. You know, be out in public, let the creative side run, and not be a solo act. Have people there that, you know, can create a wonderful world with me.
Yeah, definitely. I'll say I had 2 dream jobs as a child. Growing up, my entire family is musically and creatively inclined. Everybody in my family plays at least one instrument. Everybody can sing. Most everybody can dance and act. We were required to learn one instrument a year growing up. Growing up, I mean, and not a lot of people know this besides my really close friends, but since I was 6 years old, all the way up until my freshman year of college, I was a dancer and musical theater performer. I majored in musical theater. At my college, a small town, but at my college, I was the first male freshman to get the lead role in the Nutcracker, in the ballet The Nutcracker. And so that was one of my goals, and then I tore both my ACLs, so I couldn't dance anymore. Because I was mostly a dancer. I did musical theater, but I was mostly a dancer. And I grew up in a very law enforcement heavy family. I come from, before me, 4 generations of law enforcement. My dad did it for 20 years. That's what I grew up on. And so that was my other dream, was being a cop, which I accomplished. I joined the military, became military police, and then went on and did law enforcement. Now, however, getting back into D&D and doing this and all of that kind of brought that creative side back. And while I'll never dance again, just my legs couldn't handle it even if I wanted to. Bringing my creative side back, my dream job is, number 1, to do this full time, but also to be a professional voice actor. So I've been striving hard the past few months to get my voice acting stuff out there, get my voice out there, and reach out and try and do some different things. But yeah, that's what I want to do for a living. I would love to, whether it's from this or from voice acting, for somebody to stop me on the street and say, hey, you look familiar. And then when I tell them what I do, they say, like I would with some voice actors, like, you were my childhood. Like, because of your voice, I had a childhood. I remember you playing this character and this and that. So that's the goal. Cara, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I wanted to be a couple of things, and both of them are actually very different from each other. One was I wanted to be an astronaut.
Oh.
Another was I wanted to be an actor. So in high school, I tried to go for the theater, and stage fright was a thing. And I realized, well, if I can't be on stage, why can't I make the stage? So I did set crew for the plays in high school. And I would help the actors who were going on stage run their lines when they couldn't run with their partner for whatever reason. So,
and now?
that's how I ended up doing that. And now, this also goes back to my childhood, but I do want to be a physician of some sort, probably nursing, because I grew up with a lot of nurses in my family, a lot of them. My grandma, that I don't remember, but she was part of the military nursing unit for World War One. One of my grandmothers, great grandmothers. Another one was a nursing unit for World War II. So, I also have a lot of military background, but I also saw kind of the darker side of what happens after. So that's kind of why I didn't go into the military, because I've seen what PTSD does, and
it's not
firsthand.
Yeah.
No, it's not. So that's why I respect the military, but I could never personally go into it.
Yeah.
Because I've seen the fallout of when they can't get the help that they need.
Yeah, and it's a huge lack of support.
Yeah.
And
yes, it is.
Unfortunately, so have I.
So,
but because of, I want to help people though. I still want to help people. So.
And I want to piggyback off of that and dealing with PTSD and things like that. I think everybody's struggled with it. I just want to remind everybody that if you are struggling with something like that, there are people you can talk to. If you call 1-800-273-8255, there are people there that can talk to you. It's open 24/7. It's free. Call that number, 1-800-273-8255. Get help. It does get better. Ethan.
Job that I wanted to be when I was a child. Probably the one I carried to probably into my adulthood was a zookeeper. I really wanted to be in the zoo pens, working with like the rare animal, like like the animals you don't see in the States, like lions and tigers, bears. Or swimming in the aquarium with dolphins and taking care of them, like what? Why?
No, you said lions, tigers, and bears.
Said,
I said,
oh my. But like taking care of the animals like that, and like that was something that I really wanted to do, and I live in Nebraska, and so I live I live 15 minutes away from the Henry Dorley Zoo, which is one of the like top zoos in the States. So I always thought it'd be really cool to work there. My dream job now is to be like in the vet field of some kind, whether it's like a vet assistant or vet tech, working around animals, just being that, like, because a lot of my siblings have dogs and cats, and so just being able to be like, hey guys, if you guys need to give me a call, like, I will help you guys out with whatever might be going on, type of thing. Why I chose not to be a zookeeper, mainly just because you hear the little guy that's in the background screaming. And also, like, it wasn't super conducive, like, to have a job, because I was also looking like hourly wages, and they weren't super great. As far as like, it was kind of like if you did this job, like you would have to. You're doing it for the love of the. Like the love of the job, like love being around animals. It's not like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna doing this and I'll be set on my careers. Maybe I need to do a little bit more digging, but like some of the stuff they had posted for job openings when those rolled around, I like looked at my wife. I was like, "Are you serious? Like I can't jump into this job and support you guys. Like that ain't gonna work." So, but so plus I'm pretty sure that Charlie did not want to wake up one morning and found out that his father had been trampled by a baby elephant.
Yeah.
All right, and lastly, Chris.
How far back do you want me to
go?
Longest amount of time.
What did you want to be the most as a child?
It's more of a theme than a job. It's always been up thing. So it basically goes back to wanting to be a knight when I was like 5 years old. Because I love protecting people. I wanted to protect people to the point where I scared the crap out of my mother at the age of 8 when one of my friends, his father, was a reporter near the town, and I went straight over and didn't give a fuck if he had a gun or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I scared the crap out of my mom. Now I want to be a blacksmith. I really do. I want to work. I like working, doing physical jobs, but I like to. It'd be something interesting to do to create something, whether it's to help people, or something like that, or just for the shits and giggles. Excuse my language. But what changed?
You did say fuck
nothing.
Earlier, so.
I think that ship has sailed.
Yeah. We're rated
There's a reason why we're rated adults.
Yes.
Yeah.
It really hasn't changed because in itself, being a blacksmith, you can give tools to help protect people.
Can I have a sword?
It's a different way. If I can, eventually.
I want
to trust you with that. You have to make him a sword with a duck on the hilt.
Yes.
The duck sword.
Yes. Duck sword.
We'll call it Quackicus. Like Spartacus.
Yeah.
Like Spartacus. Quackicus.
Now the question is, what type of sword?
We finally found a name for my duck
and I
sword.
just came up with it.
Quackicus.
Start quacking.
All right, it's canon. It is now Quackicus.
Quackicus. I bring forth the mighty Quackicus. That's your cue.
I was waiting for it. Okay, so I want to get a little bit into the campaign. So we had some big things happen. Bakir is now engaged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I saw that coming.
This was planned out for a couple weeks. I will let all the viewers know that yes, we will be having a wedding. Once things calm down and stuff gets back to as normal as it can be for Misery's End, there will be a wedding.
There's normal
for Misery's End.
Dragon wolf babies.
There will be a wedding. So we will have that. Hopefully the wedding stays safe. Hopefully it's not a red wedding. Or for those of you that watch Critical Role, hopefully it's not Dalen's Closet.
Don't make some people cry if it's Dalen's Closet.
Probably. Dalen's Closet.
I don't know that one.
Dalen's Closet made me cry. If you guys watch Legends of Vox Machina, please do not go watch Dalen's Closet. It will ruin the show for you. Wait till Legends of Vox Machina is done, and then go watch Dalen's Closet, which they'll probably animate that anyways. But let's see. So you guys got a TARDIS, basically.
Yeah.
Basically.
Ethan.
Ethan, you're grounded.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Now it's me doing it.
So yeah, you guys got a time
You're really gonna
machine.
grab me in front of Charlie? Charlie's in a happy mood
Yep.
right now.
And in front
If
of
you ground
everybody,
me-
you're grounded.
Okay, let me tell Charlie you're gonna break his
Nose
heart.
in the corner, young man.
Let's see, you guys encountered Tiamat and managed to escape thanks to
Yeah,
Syl.
it was.
Bakira's
Was it-
brother got brought back from the dead,
Yep,
and then
Bakira's brother's
killed
back.
again.
Then he's dead now. Let's see. Argos died. There's that.
We didn't even get to serve him up.
The
joking, we were
benefactor's
never
been
gonna do that.
brainwashed for like the entire
yeah,
time he's
the
known
tell you.
turns out the
Yeah,
benefactor
that was a
for like 1,000 years.
him loving Belvis was all a lie.
So
Belvis is
I
happy.
can tell you what though. Here's something I'll counter that, Belvis. A lot more people want to bite out of the fish than they want it out of Argos. I just want to point that out.
Yeah, somehow Belvis has become quite the babe magnet. I don't really understand that. One moment we got Belt, we got the benefactor trying to jump him, and now we got the archfey. I'm like,
You're
It's-
just funny
You know
when
what's
you're
funny?
flustered.
You know what's funny is
okay.
I saw a TikTok where it was somebody saying, don't flirt with your friends. That's not right. And then it's changed to, I'm the DM. Hello. Or something like that. And I was like, yep. I literally make these characters just so I can make Ben feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you, the benefactor, the original design, he was not gay. He was how he is now. He was still supposed to be charismatic, but I didn't. And it just off the cuff, I was like, you know what? He's going to fall in love with Belvis. And it was just to make Ben uncomfortable. And also, let's see, you guys went to the Fey Wilds again.
Sobek left.
Yeah,
Sobek left.
Sobek left.
Yeah.
Rohan is back, but a different Rohan.
And Charlie's brother.
And Charlie's brother, yes. You guys saw like
Now we're in
different
Charlie.
Charlie.
Jurassic,
Yes, I brought you guys into Jurassic Park.
magical Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
And we didn't get to see some of it. Belvin.
Yeah,
I
wonder
You
why
do
you
realize
didn't get to
that
see
was another
stuff.
show.
Well,
You do
to
realize
be
that
fair, I was like,
Yeah.
here, let me go outside, and you guys were like, hey, let's take a moment, let's compose ourselves and really think about what was going on. How was I to know that you guys couldn't leave the box unless it was on the ground? I didn't know that.
We should have let Belvis see that giant sea monster thing.
I did see one of them.
Yeah.
Should have
And then
Belvis
had an extra-
Should have let
Hey.
Belvis see the skeleton of the Locatha.
Yeah, that
Mhm.
would have been kind of freaky.
Let's see.
I was expecting like one of our races. to
You
be
do
in one of
realize
the
Dinotopia
things.
is like a whole other franchise, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I
there's
didn't
not,
know.
There's not many names that you can do for
Yeah, dinosaur theme land.
dinosaur theme park other than Jurassic
Oh, yeah.
Park, Dinotopia. I'm not going to use Jurassic Park.
Oh God, no, we can't
Especially
go up
because,
against
well, and
Park.
not all of those animals were from the Jurassic era. So,
Yeah.
Also, to be technical, and this is just the sci-fi nerd in me speaking. Technically, the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park were not complete dinosaurs since they were genetically modified with other
Yeah.
creatures.
correct. These
They're not
are real
dinosaurs.
dinosaurs. These are full dinosaurs.
Yeah.
So you guys were in a little pocket dimension. Well, still are in a little pocket dimension. Let's
Yeah, we're just
see.
going up against literally the largest land carnivore there ever
All of your
was. No,
friends are dead because
Yeah.
you
Thanks for
spent a
that.
little too long in the Fey Wilds.
My friends ain't dead.
Well, you don't have friends.
Yet.
wow.
But
I literally don't.
no,
I
no,
just
no,
work
he
with my
doesn't.
From
sister.
a character perspective, he doesn't. Because
He
literally, the
doesn't.
only person he knows is
Charlie.
the otherworldly Charlie.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
So, yeah, I mean, you guys, Misery's End has been through a lot. Hopefully, with getting the ore that's needed, and getting back, hopefully you guys can get back to the right time, or place.
Or
Technically,
the,
you didn't
the right
change.
dimension.
Yeah.
Yeah, the right dimension.
So calculations have to be right. Everybody got some special stuff.
God.
Bakira got a new hat.
Yeah.
That gives her a pirate patch. Belvis got his painting back.
Thanks for that, by the way. I don't get another bow and arrow, but you gave me the very, very inappropriate and mildly uncomfortable painting of the benefactor.
Hey, it's not my fault you lost the bow.
The house ate it.
That's what happens.
Yeah, that is funny.
A house that nobody has seen before. That nobody alive has seen before. Oh.
No, what do you need a bow for? You're a fighter.
I can fight with a bow.
But you're in armor.
You're supposed to
listen. I like the archery aspect. Don't try and take my bow from me.
I did.
Too bad I'm an archer.
Actually,
Too bad I already did.
I already did.
Yeah, I'll get one back. Don't you worry. I'll find another bow and arrow.
Maybe.
Do you realize that you're challenging the DM,
the literal
who is
god
the creator
of
this
world?
You do realize that you guys are now in a time of war, which means all armaments are now being shipped out to other parts to fight Zofo, so bows may be hard to find.
Oh, I'll find one.
You might have to make one out of a stick and shoestring.
Yeah.
It's going to be a negative
Make
1 to
some.
hit.
All
right.
Of negative, what about that rat fight that Velocity?
If you could get one celebrity, they don't have to actively play D&D. If you could get one celebrity to play with us in our campaign, who would it be and why? Benjamin.
Jack Black.
Okay. That is somebody that's active in D&D.
Yeah.
I actually didn't know that. I just figured because
he's active in D&D.
He's a huge D&D nerd.
Yep.
I didn't know that. Obviously just because from what I've read, he's just...
We have to force him to play a bard.
I think he would probably want to play a bard.
He does play a bard.
Yeah, just because he could probably bust out some pretty decent song lyrics there, and on top of that, from what I've seen, he's just funny and fun to be around. So I was like, yeah, that'd be great. I'm just a huge Jack Black fan.
Elliot?
Elizabeth Olsen.
Oh, okay.
I think she plays her villains very well.
I would totally bring her in to play a BBEG.
Mm-hmm. That's what I picture her
I think
as.
Elizabeth Olsen
either an evil character or...
She's definitely the best looking Olsen. Mary-Kate and Ashley lost it. And she's very talented. Okay. I would say, to be honest, outside, obviously, anybody from Critical Role would be amazing, but I'm just going to chalk it up to that is a future possibility because we are going to make it big and we're going to be on their radar, so it's a future possibility. So, Joe Manganiello.
Yeah.
He's probably the biggest D&D celebrity in the world. He's literally getting ready to make a D&D TV show.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He has a D&D session with tons of celebrities, including The Big Show, the creators of Game of Thrones. All of them sit at his table. So Joe Manganiello would be great.
Do you realize that he was Flash Thompson in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie?
Yes.
I'd also take Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
That would
It'd be
be funny.
funny.
Hilarious.
Kara.
I have no idea. In all honesty, I really don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Because a lot of them do already play D&D as their downtime because they get to escape from everything.
You know who else I think would be great? Josh Gad. That he's the voice of Olaf, and he was LeFou in the live action Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
I think he would be hilarious. And he can sing. Ethan.
Oh, like, and they have to be active in D&D?
No, they don't.
Oh, no.
Okay, because I was like, there are people I would like to play, but like I also would like, there's the, if they're active in D&D. Originally, I was gonna pick Joe Manganiello as my choice because he is, I don't know, the way he was in the final episode of Vox Machina was amazing.
Which I cannot wait to see Arcane animated.
But if I had to choose, I would choose Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
I have a particular set of skills, rolling natural 20s.
Actually, I just.
I mean, he is a Jedi, so.
Yeah.
I'll wait till the end, but I have another person, but I'll wait till the end.
Chris?
I have one that would be interesting. One that both would actually be interesting for their own different personalities. Orlando Bloom.
Okay.
Mainly because he could honestly play off the Rangers or the acting of all that survivalist very well. Or someone that's probably most of us are familiar with, Jenna Ortega, who played Wednesday.
Okay. Yeah.
Imagine her playing Arcanus or the Fixer, the Tinkerers.
Artificers?
Artificers?
Yeah.
Can we just bring back Betty White and get her to play with us?
Yeah.
I would just bring Betty White back, period.
Okay, Ben, what was your other one?
Gary Oldman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because and first of all, he's probably hands down one of the best actors out there. He's going to go down as one of the best actors that ever graced stage or screen. And he has such a natural gift with different voices and accents. Like, I honestly believe if he didn't have such a charismatic screen presence, he probably would be the undisputed king of voice acting, because he has almost just as much voice acting credits as he does actual acting credits. And I think he could probably voice every NPC and keep it all straight. So I would love to. I think it would be fun, and he seems like somebody who has such a very storied and varied work history in terms of creative art. He could probably bring a lot to the table in terms of D&D.
All right, spin off of that, if you could have, and of course my feelings aren't hurt with this, if you could have one person replace me as a DM and DM campaign 2, who would it be?
Ooh.
Nobody.
Right now, I'm not your boss. So
no. Because of the reason, I'm not saying this because obviously, like, the obvious choice would be like Matt Mercer, Bradley Mulligan.
I mean, I would replace myself with Matt Mercer. I'm just saying.
But for this reason is, like, Matt Mercer and Bradley Mulligan are fantastic DMs. But what you have created with this first campaign and setting the stage for campaign 2, like, you can set all that up And then if they could come along and do it, they could probably do a good job with it. But you have created this world, and for campaign, set the stage for campaign 2. Like it can't be replaced. Like you have set the stage. So like don't make like I don't want to twist, like I said, be like one of the popular choices of people that's already DM'd, but honestly, I wouldn't swap you out. I would say no.
Benjamin?
Yeah. Honestly, I kind of feel the same way. I mean, honestly, first off, the only other DM I know is Matt Mercer and Brandon Lee Mulligan. So, and as much as I like Matt Mercer and them, I don't think they'd fit with us.
Oh, I mean, no, there's
just simply because that's just simply because I think the dynamic of what makes a good group, something like Critical Role or Dimension 20, so well is that they were all friends. They're all friends. They're not just a bunch of strangers that a casting director put together and trying to win an Oscar. Well, they're friends.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, so it was actually just announced that Matt Mercer is doing a 4-parter for Dimension 20 for their next thing, which is amazing. Hopefully, Brennan Lee Mulligan gets to play in it because Brennan Lee Mulligan has never played with Matt as a DM.
Yeah, and it's always nice to see the DM being able to play.
Yeah,
so instead of having to worry about all that.
I will say though, the person I would like to see as a DM, if someone could DM for us, I would love to have. And again, this is even if he does D&D. I have no idea if he does. I'd love Stephen King to try and create something for us.
I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be really messed up.
I don't know if he plays D&D.
I don't. But the thing is, though, from a storyteller's point of view,
that would be like a very
dark,
Curse of Strahd,
very dark
style.
But
campaign.
I like those.
I'm okay with that. You know me, I love horror.
I'm perfectly fine with that.
I'm very excited.
I love
one
Stephen
of them that
King books.
That is.
Not gonna lie, I love Stephen King
stories.
It terrifies me though.
Hands raised if I should create a Stephen King style one shot.
My hands raised. You just can't see it.
We'll do one in the style of Stephen King.
Which Stephen King? He's got a few facets to him. Are we talking The Shining, Lears, or It?
Ooh, I think Serial Killer Mystery would be really
cool. I'm thinking more Shining. That Shining was one of my first introductions to Stephen King.
Yeah.
And of course, Jack Nicholson is fucking amazing. He played that part perfectly.
My introduction to Stephen King was the Richard Bachman books collection.
I also would like to do a style of like M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm a big M. Night Shyamalan fan of some of his stuff. Lady in the Water. Sorry, M. Night Shyamalan, but that was the worst fucking movie you ever created.
That movie should have killed his career.
The greatest movie he ever made was The Village.
Really?
I love The Village.
Not Sixth Sense?
I love The Village. I don't like Sixth Sense.
I didn't say The Village wasn't a bad movie. I'm just saying
The Village was the Sixth Sense. Yes, of course you have the big twist of he's been the ghost the whole time. I'm sorry, it's not a spoiler. It's been around for 30 fucking years, so everybody get over it.
It's not been around for 30 years.
It's been pretty fucking close. Look it up.
I'm looking it up.
Bruce Willis was young.
Okay, put it this way. If it's older than me, the movie's been around longer than I've been alive. I just turned 30, guys.
He did Stuart Little. Here.
Let's see.
List of movies that he's done.
It's 24 years old.
That's close.
I don't want to talk about it.
But no, The Village had one of the greatest twists, that it was the villagers the whole time. It was such a great twist. But
yeah.
Okay, so I do have other questions, but I want to go to you guys. Any questions for each other? or for me about the campaign, anything like that?
Oh, I do.
Go ahead.
Oh, I do. I've been thinking about this one all day.
Okay.
And you guys might hate me for this one. So your current character, because a lot of us have gone through a lot of characters, and I know Caleb I know Caleb where kind of Caleb sits at, but I also would still like to hear his thoughts. What inspired you to create your current character in the campaign?
Okay.
Like, what was the inspiration behind your character?
Okay. Ben, what was the inspiration behind Belvis?
I went through PetSmart and saw a beta fish, a fighting fish. He looked really cool.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not kidding. I went before I went to go get Cap.
Oh God, Belvis is a beta.
He's a beta male. He's a beta male.
No, he is not.
That means the benefactor is the alpha.
No.
Hey,
I
recognize the alpha.
No. So no, but what I'm trying to say is I was literally walking through PetSmart and there was like a big ruckus in the center of the aisle. So I mean, Elliot might know. I don't know if PetSmarts are all laid out the same way, but I just decided to cut around to the fish area, and there was just like some little containers with the fighting fish, and I saw one that I just saw one that looked really cool. I was like, oh, that's so cool. And I just started thinking about fighting fish, and then I remembered you had the Locatha, and I was like,
God,
I know what I'm going to do.
You're a fighter? You made a fighting fish.
Yeah, fighting fish. I want to say, everyone's got some deep meaning. No, I just happened to be walking through PetSmart. I was like, that'll work.
Inspiration comes in the darkest of places.
Just me wanting to be lazy and not walk through a couple barking dogs, since hence Belvis was born.
Unfortunate for all of us. What was
you all love my character?
The inspiration for Safi?
Honestly, I just wanted to because at the very beginning, this is when we were all starting out. So past Safi is kind of different from Safi now. But when I was first making her, I just wanted to make a stupid kid that thought that the world was going to be her oyster and she just wanted to help people and she was going to have to mess around and find out. But that's not true.
And then Pam killed your character.
Yeah.
Good job, Pam.
She's not here to hear that, so that's good. I'm safe for a little bit.
What differed between past Safi and current Safi is I kind of had Willow in between. And I kind of wanted that to be a lot of her childlike nature leaving her and kind of turning into something else. And now that childlike nature is gone because Willow's dead. So now she's just kind of existing and trying to stop the world from being destroyed and try not to lose everyone she loves. So she's very different than she was at the beginning.
So, and obviously I play a lot of characters, but as a player, obviously Maresh is my go-to. Maresh being the Goliath barbarian, very heavily inspired by Grog. It's obviously, everybody knows by now that I'm a Critical Role fan, also a very big Travis Willingham fan. Very much inspired by Grog. However, I'm also Norse pagan, and because I was in the military, I do consider myself a Viking, as the Vikings were the warriors. And so I also wanted the Viking aspect too, so that's kind of where he was born from. He was kind of a mix of those two, because obviously I didn't want him exactly like Grog, because then he wouldn't be my character. So I kind of threw the Viking stuff into there, and then the roles just made it so he's stupid. He is smarter than Grog, and then him being king just was spur of the moment, killing a king and taking over.
The kingdom I created.
Yeah, is now mine. And
you left it in my.
I gotta say,
you left it up to me, Ben. I'm sorry. It's not my fault that the king that you had in there before was kind of a royal.
To be fair, didn't think when I created the king, I didn't think that the barbarian who burned down the tavern would somehow overthrow his kingdom. So if I had known that might have been an option, I might have made the king a little bit more stout of heart. I mean, he was a dwarf after all.
Wasn't it Khalid that burned down the tavern?
We did steal a boat.
You all burned the tavern down.
So that was just payback for stealing a boat.
Yeah, it was payback for stealing the boat.
You stole a boat, I stole a kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
So, which now exists in
we burned down a guard shack.
Which now exists in my world.
Next time I create something, I have to make it Caleb proof.
Good luck.
Good luck.
DMs are the worst players.
They can be, but they're also they're the best. They're the worst. They can be the worst players, but they could also be an incredibly smart player too. Like a good smart player too.
Yeah. What was the inspiration behind Bakira?
Do you remember that far back?
Yeah, you're the one that has to remember the farthest. A year and a half ago when you created Bakira.
Honestly, I've always wanted to play I've been tossing around D&D character ideas, role-playing character ideas for a while. As you guys know, I got my start in role-playing on MMO and roleplay guilds, much like the Order of Magi, our Star Wars guild.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd been throwing around possible ideas on what kind of creature I wanted to try and whatnot, and I've always been a huge fan of dragons and wolves. So when Bakira was first thought of, it's just black dragon, no problem. Give her some purple accents because black and purple are my favorite colors. So it was here. Let me
and then
do something real quick.
I'll say the first iteration of Bakira was never intended to be a werewolf.
No. But yeah. That blanket there was handmade for mine and husband's wedding, and it has wolves and dragons on it. Literally, wolves and dragons.
I like that blanket.
I had just wanted to do something different with one of the players, and I had reached out to Kara, and I said, hey, it would be cool if you were a fucking werewolf. And Kara just immediately said, yes, let's go. And so we created the backstory. But yeah. It definitely was not the original
It's just
design.
wait, I can. It was wait, I can do that.
Yeah,
you're letting me do that. That. It was just yes, I get to combine my two favorite things. Let's go.
So, Ethan, obviously, I created Elowin. Elowin was my design, so we're gonna go to Argos. What was your inspiration for Argos?
Would it surprise you that I took inspiration from Narnia?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
The big fucking minotaur that's running through the battle.
Yeah.
What's Narnia?
The first one. That literally.
Blasphemy.
I'm joking. Of course, I know what the Chronicles of Narnia are.
Narnia, that's the one where they take the ring to the mountain, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then she clicks her heels together and says there's no place like home.
Guys, it's the one where the kid is closet under the stairs.
Oh, right.
And got a letter. And got a letter saying.
Oh, that's right.
Harry Potter and the Witch in the Wardrobe.
Yep. But anyway, long story short, the big black minotaur named Ottman from The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe took heavy inspiration from him as far as like his bulkiness, kind of like his looks. People would be like, "Hey, what does he look like?" I'm like, I'd send pictures of him. But like his personality wise, I wanted a blend of Argos, or not Argos. He was Argos. Grog, and a little bit, not a whole lot, but a little bit of what's her name? Keyleth. A little bit like the naivety of it, where Keyleth is like naive when it comes to certain aspects. But I really wanted him to be more like Grog in the personality department of being like, I just want to protect my family and friends, and I'm just gonna rage out and defeat everybody.
Hey there, Kiki. The Sun Tree. Ethan, I wish for the Sun Tree they could have gotten Matthew McConaughey.
All right. That would have been awesome.
That was, and Matt admitted that Matthew McConaughey was his inspiration for the Sun Tree's voice. Like high Matthew McConaughey, which is regular Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
But okay, so Chris, let's do the inspiration for Rohan in his original form, because obviously this form we kind of changed him just to play with the story. So Rohan's original creation.
The original inspiration for Rohan.
Lord of the Rings.
No, actually. I had a story to start with Abbott. As all the people here have known, he was a father. He was an ACMR father, and he had a Wood Elf sister. So I wanted to play off that and go, oh, I can really fuck with the rest of the people with trauma. Bring in the brother. The wife. Which I did. And then
yeah, have we checked up on that kid, by the way? I don't think we checked up on that kid at all. Oh, wonderful.
No.
Like everyone's dead.
Yeah.
Everyone's dead.
But I wanted him to have a different part than just torturing the group. I wanted him to have something why he's 150 years old and still as active and still deadly as ever, because no offense, he whooped all of you guys' butts in that all out shootout.
Yeah. He hits hard.
Yeah, if only we had a rematch where it was going to be like a 6-on-6 kind of fight. I don't know. Maybe someday soon.
So I gave him the military background, which fit very well with him and how I was envisioning him.
Okay. Before we get to my stuff, does anybody else have any other questions for each other, for the DM?
I do have a question, but first I wanted to hear what you were thinking of when you made Syl.
Syl?
Yeah, everybody else answered, but I want to hear about Syl.
So I'll be... I never intended for Syl to be the patron of ravens. That was never the intention. That was just kind of something that happened that just happened to go along with the story. Syl... Warlock is my favorite class. I have Maresh, Barbarian. I love the Barbarian. But for Magic users, I think Warlock is the best class. It's fun. So I wanted a Warlock. And for those that don't know, before we started streaming, I played along with them to kind of guide them as Syl, and then I backed off when we brought Ethan in. And So.
Wait. So I was the cause for. I was the cause for.
You were the
Syl?
reason Syl became a god. Yes. So. Elves have always been my favorite race. I think they are a beautiful, magnificent race. They are amazing. So I mix those, and then just the way he talks is the easiest accent I can do. I'm from the South. I can do a Southern accent. I don't know if you guys noticed, but he no longer has that accent.
Yeah, I did.
He now has a British accent. And so, and then just bringing him, obviously, as a warlock, his patron was the Matron of Ravens. And then it just happened to go along with the storyline that when he left, he just. The matron took him in and gave him all of her power, and she died. So there wasn't a lot of thought that went into him. I'd like to say that there was. He was just kind of a thrown together character to aid you guys as you guys went through the world, and then bringing in Ethan as a seventh person allowed me to back him off.
Yeah.
And because I don't like it when DMs play in their own campaigns. I think it comes off as almost selfish. Of like, if I'm the DM, I'm the DM. I don't want to DM and play. Me personally, I think I also
kind of spoils everything.
Yeah, and I can't focus DMing if I'm playing. And having to worry about that. And then you also have the thing of, as if I'm there as a player, then it's hard for you to not be in the forefront and take control of everything because you know what's happening.
Yeah.
So when we brought Ethan in, I backed him up immediately and just brought him in there when you guys absolutely needed him. But yeah.
And
so,
do you Caleb, when you're done, I like a little caveat to that as
go ahead.
DM, as a player. But like, there's been a plethora of like the D&D horror stories of DMs playing in campaigns. Like a lot of players, when the DM starts to be like, well, this character's going to come in, I'm going to play as this character. It can become tense. I'm not saying Caleb, I wasn't there when Caleb was playing Elwyn, but if Caleb did it wrong, there would have been a lot of tension at the table, and it would have been made very uncomfortable. But when Caleb interjects with Syl or something like that, I don't know. I don't get that tension from him.
Yeah,
but
and that's why I threw him back. So as the DM, I mean, you do play in the campaign. You have NPCs. And I try not to bring NPCs with you guys all the time because, number one, the 7 of you are pretty strong already. So you don't need that extra help. But it also, NPCs for me should be there to, yes, some are going to fight. Like, obviously, the very end, there's going to be a lot for me to do. I'm going to need a huge whiteboard to track everybody's stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be Avengers level, everybody assembling.
Yeah.
But we'll do it better. Screw you, Disney. But yeah, so I'd prefer to keep NPCs as conversationalists and quest givers and things like that, and it makes it fun too because then you don't get sick of the NPC. I don't think you guys are sick of any of our NPCs.
I can't think of any.
No. So, I'm upset that you killed Charlie.
Charlie's my sister's fine.
Wrong sister. Charlie.
Wrong Charlie.
The only Charlie I know now.
But yeah,
he's got to go back.
All right. Anybody else? Any burning questions? Audience as well. Any burning questions?
I have one.
Uh-huh.
How do you guys think that seeing what could be is going to affect your character?
I'm not sure, honestly.
So
I think
I'll kind of
reword it because
I'll reword it. So you guys, everybody but Rohan, you came out of the Feywilds and you saw the destruction 10 years in the future. You guys traveling back in time, you're not going to forget that. So how do you think that's going to change the way your character is? And I'm going to kind of put an asterisk on this, is that you may not be done seeing things.
Oh, I'm sure.
So just keep that in mind.
I would say for Belvis, assuming this all goes right and they're able to get back to their, not only the right dimension, but the right time, like before Zophos, and try and alter it, you're probably going to see Belvis a lot more determined to make sure that the final fight is successful. So, like, they're like Belvis, like obviously Belvis is a gladiator, he's a prize fighter and everything, but like all boxers and fighters, they know when to, okay, this is a fight, I can't win, so I'm just gonna walk away from the fight. There's no walking away from this fight, not now. I mean, Belvis probably wouldn't have walked away from it to begin with, but now that he's basically seeing what's probably going to happen, this is probably going to be a Belvis with a determination on a whole different level, because now he obviously has his family to look out for.
I'll say I threw in the time travel because I know Ben hates time travel.
Yes, time travel is my least favorite aspect of science fiction.
That's why I threw it in there.
Of course you did. Half of this campaign is just exists just to bug me.
Yeah, just wait till you guys invent folded pizza.
Yeah.
Ham and pineapple pizza.
Not be a thing.
If it is
which,
already.
by the way, I know we're going a little off the book here, but I have decided in writing campaign 2 to heavily focus on the food in campaign 2, because I would like to create a campaign 2 Dungeons and Magi cookbook.
Ooh.
Now I will carry something over, which will be breaded cheese.
Yeah.
Which is actually, I've already created the recipe for that, and it's a giant mozzarella stick that's about this big around.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, how would that cook up?
So I'll tell you how to do it. What's cool is you take mozzarella cheese, and you take a Pringles can, and you take and melt all the mozzarella cheese, put it in the Pringles can, and then put that in the freezer. You let it sit for an hour or two, let it harden up, and then you are able to take it out of the can, and now the entire mozzarella stick is this size, and then you just bread it and deep fry it, and you have a giant mozzarella stick.
Oh.
Yeah, so that will
Dungeons
be
and Magi
cheese.
is not responsible for any medical conditions because of eating breaded cheese.
Pam will make it and will regret it.
Yeah.
Oh, I will eat it.
I will too.
Okay, so.
Oh God, I would die.
Yes, you would.
Okay. How do you think it's going to affect Safi?
I feel like up until now, Safi's like a really romanticized, less so than she did at the very beginning, but she had that ideal of we're going to do it and we're going to live. But I think this really, she's going to do this even if she has to die for it. You know, she's fully ready to be a martyr for this. seeing just how intensely it affects the world.
Okay. How is seeing this going to affect Bakira? Now, Bakira
honestly,
has dealt with a lot of death, but Bakira's never dealt with the end of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seeing the end of the world like she did, especially since she was the one that found the recording from Charlie. She realizes how much she took for granted. She actually realizes how much she took for granted and is actually reflecting a lot on some past. And especially now that she's engaged. She got engaged in the Feywild just before they came back to this.
How is she supposed to be happy?
Exactly. How can she be happy when almost everyone she's cared about is gone? Her sister she's never found. Her brother who got pulled into this war against his will to fight for Zophos. It's all gone. She doesn't have that chance to go, or in her mind, she doesn't have that chance to go find her sisters that she's never found. Like, she found her brother. Her brother got killed.
Twice.
Twice? Twice? But, like, she loves Van. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. She does. But I think her wedding's going to be, like, the farthest thing from her mind. And honestly, she's probably going to be hyper focused on trying to get back to a time before Zophos destroys everything and trying to stop him at all costs.
Okay. How is this going to affect Elwyn?
It's hard.
That's what she said.
We
haven't done a dirty joke tonight, so
we were overdue.
Spiritual weapon.
Spiritual weapon. Anyways, go ahead, Elwyn.
I think for Elwyn, since he is come back from the dead, or in that sense, I think for him, in the grand scope of things, him personally, he has nothing left to fear, I guess. But he's also not like in a care of like I don't care, but he's also just doing what he can do to protect those around him. Kind of like a hint of kind of what the direction I'm going with him was at the very end of the boss fight with the Carnotaur. With the Carno, it was, hey, this is how druids are supposed to do it. As Arlie killed the druid, and Elwyn simply responded, "I wasn't trying to have a competition. I was, it wasn't about a competition." And I think for Elwyn, it's not a game for him, and he's not going to treat this as such. He will do whatever he can to keep himself, his kids, his wife, and the party alive. I think in the grand scope of things, he's he's not here to have fun anymore.
Okay. And Rohan hasn't seen this, so.
No, but I do have a question for all the cast. Now, he's an NPC now. What would you do if Sobek was actually on the side of Zophos?
Kill him.
Probably try and plead and wondering why the hell he would side with Zothos. And then, yes, probably reluctantly kill him.
If you could.
Yeah, it's kind of be hard to kill a dragon god.
Especially now that I'm lawful evil, she would kill him.
Yeah.
Maybe
Don't
not
be getting
before, but
ideas,
she would
Chris.
now.
Too bad DM's writing shit.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I would go to the Nine Hells and beg Tiamat to release Argaz back into the real world and have Argaz beat Sobek within an inch of his life.
And then Zophos pulls out.
Ooh, 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 damn it.
Okay.
Here's the last one.
So, yeah, let's
honestly,
let's pull tonight. Ben, you can pull for Arlie, so that you get blamed.
Wait.
Cards?
No.
No.
Wait. Hey,
No.
Hey, Caleb, since it was just my birthday a couple weeks ago, can I pull for Arlie?
Sure.
Don't.
No.
No, don't do it.
But it directly affects the game.
No.
no, thank you.
Don't
God.
don't you do that to Arlie. She'll kill you.
She will kill
No,
you.
for Arlie, she's gonna get like 8. For me, I'm pulling 10.
8? Jesus Christ.
No. Nothing
Let's-
for me.
I'm not doing that
No,
again. I'm
we're-
sorry.
We're not doing that again. Okay. So.
I may or may not have been texting Arlie about what was about that might happen.
She's gonna come out here.
Oh, I've already
Sure.
texted her about you reminding everyone about killing
The death.
the staff aide.
If
Really?
You could play. If you could only play one class forever, what would it be? Not a multi-class, one singular class forever. What would it be?
In D&D?
Benjamin, yes.
Okay.
I don't even have my full name.
She's right behind you.
No, she's not. I already checked.
She's hiding behind the couch. What are you talking about?
I can see there's a wall behind the couch.
What's that behind you?
Nothing. I would say if I had to pick one class forever, it would be a ranger.
Okay.
It's just it's a well-rounded thing. You can do so much, like not only with the abilities of fight, magic, fighting, but RP wise, there's just so much stuff to work with there.
Elliot?
Sorcerer. Because they're incredibly easy to play, in my opinion. They're very fun to play, and that's a lot of different kinds of subclasses that are like pretty different from one another, even though they kind of do the same stuff. But it gives you a lot of like role play stuff that you can work with, like if you're like shadow or if you're wild magic, it's like a whole new personality you can attach to it.
I definitely play a warlock forever because again, there's so many different kinds. You can be a celestial warlock and be on the light side of everything. The old ones, there's just so much you can do with different patrons, different ways to play a warlock. Bakira.
See, I've only ever really played as a blood hunter / warlock. But I would have to agree with Elliot. Sorcerer, because it's so diverse.
Okay.
Like, so diverse.
Ethan. Druid.
It's either druid or sorcerer. Like, you don't understand when, like, the only reason, like, after I went back to barbarian, I like mix like Elliot kind of hit on the button. Like, sorcerers are like can be super easy, but at the same time, when Caleb said, "Hey, think outside the box," like, I started looking at my spells and going, "Okay, how can I do this outside the box?" But Druid has allowed me to do it as well in the form of like, what wild shape am I going to do? Or how can I use this spell and then mix it up with my wild shape? Like, how can I pull that off? So it's like, I don't know, like it seems like the harder class something is, it's like the more I want to like go and like dive into it and play that class.
Chris?
That's actually an interesting one, because normally I would agree with Ben on Ranger. Normally. But I played now a lot of classes. Only one magical from the wizard, Kali, who wants to blow everything up.
Like the tavern I made.
That was fun.
It was fun. You guys took that way further than I thought you would.
Which we know.
We're chaotic. What do you expect?
Yeah, thanks. And the name of our podcast.
Yeah.
I would actually have to go Paladin. Because as simple as you may think it's a lot more complicated, and it has a lot more adversities if you play them right.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And I learned that out
Yeah, there's a lot of different gods to follow.
Yeah.
Not only that, you got how the battle tactics work if you have a proper working paladin staying up front.
Yeah. Just being the tank.
You know what? I'm going to make a paladin who is high in wisdom but low in constitution.
Jesus.
How does that work?
It's a spellcasting paladin. But they would not be able to do anything.
You're like, I cast spiritual weapon. Okay, cool. What else are you doing? That's about it.
That's it. All right, my final question. If Misery's End, God's willing, this happens. If Misery's End got turned into an anime, if it got animated, who would voice your characters? Now, you can say yourself if you would like, but I know not everybody is comfortable being a voice actor. So if you would like for us to hire somebody to play your character, who would you choose? Benjamin.
Oh, that's tough. So I don't know. I really don't. I would probably say I don't say anybody could do a decent Australian accent,
Chris
definitely not me.
Chris Hemsworth.
Good day, mate.
Chris Hemsworth, maybe Hugh Jackman?
Okay. A Wolverine fish?
Dogfish, yeah.
Okay. Elliot.
Oh, I have no idea. You might have to come back to me.
Okay. I mean, obviously, I would. If Misery's End happens, I would like to voice a few of my NPCs. But again, that's my niche, the voice actor stuff. I would voice this guy. Or I'd hire Travis Willingham to voice Maresh. But I definitely that's the cool thing, and I think again, hopefully we get to the point where we're able to do it, where Critical Role has been, where all of Matt's creations, he just gets to go out and pick people. He says, "Hey, can you do this?" And everybody's been so willing. all of these different people. I mean, they're literally getting the greatest doctor from Doctor Who got to voice. They got Stephanie Beatriz to voice, who was in Encanto and Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Half the cast of Lord of the Rings, or half of the Hobbits, have been in Critical Role.
Yeah, at least half the Hobbits.
Yeah, half the Hobbits have been in Critical Role. So that's I think that would be the cool part, is being able to go out and say, hey, will you guys do this? Kara.
See, that's the thing. I don't know many voice actors.
Well, it doesn't have to be a voice. It could be an actor.
Again, I don't pay attention to the names of the actors. I pay attention to who they play.
The name of person.
So name a character.
Well, and that's the thing. I don't know the. See, I have an idea of what I would think her voice would sound like. So somebody who could do that would be great. Because when I think of Bakira talking, she has a deeper voice, kind of growly, or with like a real guttural sound, but
like
it has that feminine.
Attitude.
Yeah.
I got it. Michelle Rodriguez. She's from Fast and Furious. What? She's in the new D&D movie.
Yes.
Girlfriend in Fast and Furious.
Yes.
Michelle Rodriguez. She is the barbarian in the new D&D movie.
I would love to have her as Bakira.
Vin Diesel just rolls up and he's like, for family.
Alright, I figured mine out.
Okay, what is it?
But yeah, no.
Laura Bailey. But like doing like her lower voice like Abby in The Last of Us.
I'm sorry. I'll get sidetracked talking about Laura Bailey. Laura Bailey is my Critical Role crush. Laura Bailey is amazing. And has quite a bit under her belt. And she has played a tiefling. So, campaign 2, she's a blue tiefling. And Jester Davis is fucking great. Ethan, who would play Elwyn?
Liam O'Brien.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think Liam would do it well. Who would play Argos?
Like if Lance Riddick.
Okay.
I like his deep. He's, for those of you who don't know who Lance Riddick is, he's the voice of the Flame Dragon in the Legends of Vox Machina.
He's the voice of Umbrasyl.
No,
I haven't
that's
seen
Matt
that part.
Matt Mercer is.
Yeah.
He's.
Have you seen John Wick?
Yes.
He's the guy that's behind the counter in the hotel, the black guy.
He
plays the Black Dragon in Legends of Vox Machina, and
no. Matt Mercer does. Matt Mercer does Umbrasyl.
I'm sorry, the Red Dragon.
Yeah, he plays the big giant, the fire dragon in there. Once you hear him, like, I want good. Like, because obviously Travis, I take inspiration from Travis Willingham with the voice for Grog as well, but like I also want him to be. I always kind of wanted him to have not like a little bit more authority, but just a little bit more like, I don't know. Lance Riddick has a way of just being short and sweet with his voice lines.
Yeah.
Just being like, "This is what I want." Boom. Like, and Argos needs to be that.
And the way that Travis does Grog is very innocent. And he also Travis gave Grog this Cockney accent, so it's very street urchin-y. And that's why the way he pronounces stuff is very different than like Vex and Vax, because Vex and Vax have the more common of the British dialects, where the Cockney accent is very street urchin-y. But yeah, Lance Reddick, oh my god, he's amazing. Who would play Rohan?
Honestly, I'd probably give that to Orlando Bloom.
Who would play
He
Sobek?
has Sobek. I would think Vin Diesel, actually. He has that dark tone that I can see him having.
He just comes down with wings. We're family.
No. Have faith. Get it right.
He comes down.
Family.
You had me. You never had me. You never had your sword. I'm gonna throw it all the way back to number 1 now that they're on number 30,
which is arguably the best of the Fast and Furious.
Vin Diesel, please end Fast and Furious. It's gotten too out of hand.
Please.
Yeah.
Aim for more Riddick.
People must still watch them, I guess.
Yeah, I'll take more Riddick, please.
Yes.
Riddick is coming.
Oh, good.
He's making more Riddick. Okay. Does anybody else have any other questions? Anything else?
I'm out.
No.
Was a Shark
Done
Tank?
torturing them.
For that reason, I'm out. Okay. Well, just a reminder, Sunday we are back to our normal campaign. Friday on YouTube, as well as Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere you get your podcast. Our brand new podcast with myself and Ben, Scarlet Tavern, is going to premiere. The topic of this week, it will actually be a 2-parter because we didn't realize how long we went, is Robert Berdella, the Kansas City Butcher. So please check that out. It'll be released Friday morning at 8. And we do this the first Wednesday of every month. So check it out next month. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more to unpack then. And then I will say and we'll announce this throughout, a reminder that our giveaway is ending this Sunday. So please share all of that. Let's get the giveaway going, so somebody can get a custom dungeon crate. With that, please join us next time as we close the books, set aside the dice, and pull back the curtains. Good night, everybody.
That
Good
guy.
Good night.